Hey there, this is Dan, and you're watching the SaltySea, and this is by far my most anticipated video of all time. Uh, I've been hearing you. I know I am late with getting all of the results, but the reason, and I hope you'll forgive me, is that we just had an incredible number of submissions for this video for warbands for the Salty Sea Paintfest competition. And I'm finally able to announce the winners. I'm going to show off some honorable mentions. I wanted to work a ton of different warbands into this because I was just blown away. We had almost 50 submissions. It was wonderful. I was so excited seeing people posting things on the Discord, on the Reddit, just almost every day. It was amazing. Felt great. Also, very exciting. I got Darcy Bono. I'll have her Instagram tag in the description down below. And super excited to have her input on all of the warbands. Here's some notes that she gave me. I will be kind of interspersing her comments throughout the video. Great to have her here.
Hello everyone, I'm Darcy Bono and just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who entered this painting competition. This was the hardest thing I have had to do in a long time. There were so many unbelievably good entries. So just wanted to say thank you all to everyone who entered because I know the amount of effort and heart that you have put into this.
So I'm going to do a little something. I'm going to alternate some of my honorable mentions with some of hers before we get to the winners, which were all decided by Darcy. My first honorable mention goes to Will, who made the most festive Iron Jaws you will ever see. I've seen him chat online about these and how he didn't realize until sort of it was too late that he had made Da Lakers. And I love it. I think that this just evokes everything I love about Iron Jaws for me. Whether it's like the sort of choral festive bases, whether, these really strong contrasting colors are, in my opinion, like everything that Iron Jaws would be about in their own kind of decision making about what they want to do for their own color schemes. It just fits so well. I love them. And then there's a lot of really crisp, hard work on the details here. I know, a lot of the time when I paint like a really wild, out there color scheme, I get tempted to kind of just be very impressionistic and a little lazy. But there's a lot of really hard work in here. I mean, you can see in terms of the shading on the cloud for the Weird Knob Shaman, stuff like that. That there's a lot of hard work put into this, and I really love it. So, loved this warband. Next, I'll let Darcy take it away.
That being said, let me get to some of my favorites before we get to the award winners. I basically just picked two that really stood out to me, and we will start with the Tau conversion team, which is Eric's, quote, Fire Slayers, which this is absolutely amazing looking at these Cypher Lords that he's converted in to Tau. Or at least I think it's mostly Cypher Lords. It's such a seamless conversion, I can't tell. That's how good it is. That and the Stormcast Kroot in the back really sold it for me. This is such a creative piece, so well executed. I definitely wanted to give that some spotlight. And the Vespid back there too. I almost forgot about him. Yeah, just really well thought out, really well executed. Definitely a unique piece.
I couldn't agree with Darcy more on this one. One cool thing about this warband, if you've played in the Minneapolis area, you've seen this at a event. Really fun playing against this warband. I played against them on an objective mission on like a red harvest board, which was really fun. Yeah, great to see it, and I'm really glad that it stood out to Darcy, on camera as much as it stood out in our event, in person. Just really love this one. One that I really loved was Justin Orton's Lumineth. What I love about this is if you start to get into not just the details, but the reasons for each detail once you kind of look into it. First, you see the heroes are in one color scheme. The two wardens are in another color scheme. The horse and the archer are in another color scheme. Now we've got the sort of kangaroo rider. Archer is in another color scheme. And there's a ton of work put into the transitions on each of the armor plates for each color scheme, which I really, really love. Incredible detail work all over. I mean, Lumineth are just such a great warband for someone who's willing to put in that work and really get to it. I mean, you can see sort of the delicacy with how all of the whites have been painted on the llama horse. I don't actually know what that mount is called, so I really wanted to shout this one out as an honorable mention. Now let's get to Darcy's next honorable mention.
And next for my one of my favorites, we have Paul's Stormcast. And these are hands down the grimmest, scariest looking Stormcasts I have ever seen. I love when you take a warband and give it a just totally different aesthetic, while still like retaining the same models. And he's done that just based on this very gothic, grim color scheme. The pale faces definitely are very very creepy and give great contrast to the blood splatter. So being able to turn Sigmar's shining, mostly lawful good heroes into these very ominous, are you good, are you here to save us kind of heroes. This is fantastic. I love the horror direction this has taken. So this is absolutely fantastic and easily one of my favorite war bands.
Yeah, I absolutely agree on that. I also love kind of the bluish coloring on the faces so that they seem so otherworldly, and I really love that. And it's kind of contrasted with the kind of griminess of the armor, which is really, really cool. Now, I wanted to show another honorable mention. This was, I think, my favorite conversions of everything was Long Literature's Vampirates. Amazing stuff here. Just one of the most characterful war bands I've ever seen, where you've got they're all different sort of takes on different sorts of pirates. You see the I think this is a Virkos Bloodborne with the claw from probably a demonette, but it's perfectly seamlessly added the transition so that it's got this kind of lobster claw feel. So all of a sudden these demonettes feel nautical. It makes me want someone to do pirate themed Slanesh. I think that would work really well with all the kind of crab things. But then you have this giant ogre guy who's also got a giant crab claw in the background. Also with him, the way that they've painted the kind of mottled gray blue on the shark and the manta ray is actually just an incredible match to how those fish look in real life, which I really love. The wounds on the shark are really well done. I absolutely love it. This person sent me a few warbands. Here's another one, a Wood Elf warband that I think is really incredible. And you can see a lot of conversions here using, various Dark Elf and non-GW Wood Elf sculpts sort of all together and then painted in a really vibrant color scheme, which I think is really, really cool. Now let's get to Darcy's award for best conversions, which is just such an awesome and lovable warband here.
And for the award of Best Converted Warband, I had to give this to, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name, Grangor's Oni Ogres. In a nutshell, I can't look at this warband and not smile. Everything about this is so perfectly well done. The Japanese aesthetic is there. The armor on the orc in the front is just perfect. That pose of him, you can hear the shink of the sword, and the little Noblar geisha in the front is just the cherry on top of this sundae. So just amazing job capturing the Japanese aesthetic and really making this warband your own. I wish this was a buyable warband just straight out of the box. That's how much I love the look of this. So outstanding job.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's so cool. And the way they did the bamboo also, I don't know where they found these bamboo bits, but it fits so perfectly in terms of, finding basing to work perfectly with your theme. And then, you've got the pond with the lily pad here, which is amazing. It puts me in the mind of a Japanese garden, which then using the background was the perfect choice here too. Just a ton of really subtle work here done by the artist to sell the effect. I'm just amazed. I also wanted to talk about the amazing community I've got on my Patreon right now. They submitted some really amazing war bands. Darcy commented to me that she had worked really hard to keep her comments short to stop the video from being uncomfortably long. Please, my most viewed video of all time is 1.25 hours. I loved these. I love the Fire Slayer conversions, the vampire dwarves, essentially, that Avery gave me. I love the attention to detail on the non-metallic metal on these gits from Latchbox. Greg, I absolutely love the smoke effect that you made, and Greg did something really cool, which was gave me a Photoshop filter image where he's put I think there's like a comic filter or like a cell shading filter that went and essentially blacklined. You can see, here we've got the style here that he painted in, and then it added this like comic book feel to it, which I think for an online painting competition is such a unique and like inventive way to maximize what the online power of it can do for you, right? To use different ways to think about your camera and think about how to treat the photograph, right? I just loved that, and I love just the way this warband looks posed with the terrain, with the filter in there. I absolutely love what you did there. Really amazing, and I would love for people to consider supporting me on Patreon and joining this community because it's really amazing, and there's a lot of really cool gamers on there with me. Now let's get into the champion, the Patreon champion and winner of a Fomeroid Crusher, Kalor or Kalor. I've never actually asked how to pronounce your name. That's my bad. But these Scions of the Flame are incredible. Darcy was talking to me about this being one of her honorable mentions, and then went off of it once she found out that this would be winning my Patreon award. But they are amazing in terms of the sort of OSL effects, the way they've done the gloom, right? There's more to OSL than just getting the lighting change, right? Because Kaler's actually gone and sort of given them this really gloomy paint job that then sells the OSL extra. And you can see it sort of put into practice here on this sort of action shot of all of them together and looking like they're actually kind of having an argument and maybe coming to blows within each other, which I really love. I think that's so cool. And it really sells the effect putting them in action here. I think they're really beautiful, and yeah, incredible job, dude. I'm so blown away by these guys, and I can't wait to send you your prize. So get in touch with me so I can do that. Now we've got a really amazing warband painted by Zach. This was Darcy's choice for most unique, and I couldn't agree more.
Next, we have the winner of the most unique category, and I wanted to give this to Zach's Slaves to Darkness, because this is such a show-stopping warband that is entirely monochrome, yet makes you slam on brakes and do a double take when you see it. This is outstanding execution using a very simplistic color palette, yet that it looks magnificent and really, really fitting for these models as well. So the uniqueness in this is the style of painting. This, you rarely see a whole warband, all mostly one color, that looks this phenomenal. That, and I think he free-handed the designs on the shields as well. So that is just absolutely exceptional. Definitely deserving of most unique.
Yeah, really well done, Zach. I've gotten to play against Zach, who's done, if you've played in the Midwest, you might know about Zach's Seraphon, which has won a few Best Painted awards. I can't wait to play against Zach's Slaves to Darkness as well to see what they look like on the table. I think this is really cool and just a really awesome concept, so nicely done. Now we're getting into the finalists for the Best Overall award, and I'll let Darcy take it away.
For third place in the overall competition, this was a really hard one to place because there were several warbands that were all on the same outstanding level. But I had to give this to Matt Squared's Soulblight Gravelords. And what really grabbed me was the diversity in the skin tones in an undead warband and just how detailed the skin tones are across the whole warband. Even on like the grunt troops, like the zombies, they are exceptionally well done. Just very interesting to look at. And then the conversion that he's done on the what are they called? The Asagi. It's the undead ogre guys. The one holding the corpse by his like spine or his neck. That's just such a good gruesome look to it. I absolutely love that. And the red mask on the Cursed City guy, whose name I can't remember, just really well done. It's just a gorgeous, well thought out paint job, and just the overall look of them is absolutely perfect. From the skin tones to that, just that tree that he put on the basing for his Ghoul King. Just simple things like that really added to the gothic horror ambiance that these guys have. So exceptionally well done.
Yeah, awesome warband, Matt. Well done.
The winner for second place goes to Tiny Monsters Gloomspite Gits. This is a warband that looks like it should be at Warhammer World in an exhibit. It is so exquisitely done, so crisp and so detailed, and the color palette is so diverse yet really appropriate for the Gits. I especially love the pale Trogoth. It looks exactly how you would picture a cave creature to look. It has such a gorgeous color contrast between the pale blue skin and the ochre-colored eyes and loincloth. Everything from the color choice to the color placement to the just picking out all of those details and making them all pop. Just fantastic painting.
And one thing I loved about the Tiny Monsters performance here, obviously everything Darcy said about the incredible variety of textures and colors is amazing, but I love the way you used terrain and the background to create an entire portrait of the warband in a picture. Again, for an online painting competition, this is what I love to see, where you're not just showcasing incredible painting. And by the way, I love people who showcase incredible painting as well. But you were also creating a scene, setting a mood for us, and I really loved that. Now let's get on to the champion, which I think is really incredible. Darcy, take it away.
And for the winner of the painting competition, I had to give this to Surfing Samurai's Ideneth Deepkin. This warband got an instant wow out of me. It's almost like a seek and find as far as how much is going on here. As if each model is so absurdly detailed. Every scale is picked out on the Achillean prints. The skin on the eels is just fantastic, and I think it's the Soul Render, the guy with the hook. He is, I don't know why, but I think he might be my favorite of this. That he has just got this very foreboding color scheme and a much darker base that's very fitting for that model, and then is accented with that beautiful light teal hook along with his little swordfish, sawfish over there. Really complements the model well, and that's to say nothing of the outrageously good non-metallic metal on all of these guys. The shield on that one prince looks like the inside of I think it's called an abalone shell. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that is very fitting for them as well. So the basing, this is amazing. I could look at this for all day and still find little details that I've missed. So outrageously good job.
Yeah, Darcy put it better than I ever could, but I was also really blown away by this warband. This is actually one of the first ones I received, and they were so ready. This is so incredible. Darcy barely mentioned the basing, and I just love the effort put into. I've been to some coastlines that were incredibly rugged like this, where there's, foam crashing against the rocks, and it just fit perfectly. It was incredibly evocative. And of course, everything she said about the just absurd attention to detail really works. Even things like a little bit of extra effort making, the bottoms of the crested fins be a little darker than the tops. I mean, all of that just really adds up, even though this is, the last detail that you would ever find. It's really incredible. I'll let Darcy sum up the whole competition before I get into it.
So that is it. Thank you so much again to everyone who entered. And let me emphasize, if you didn't get a shout out in this video, please do not be discouraged. There were so many incredible warbands. I wish I could tell you what I thought of all of them, but this video would be uncomfortably, impossibly long at that point. So if you didn't place as well as you wanted to, please do not be discouraged. You have entered a painting competition. That alone takes courage, as you are putting yourself out there for critique. So do not be hard on yourself. Keep practicing. And yeah, again, thanks very much for submitting your work. It has been truly inspiring seeing the amount of talent that we have in this community. So that being said, I do hope you guys had fun. I certainly did. And a big thank you to Dan as well for hosting this competition and being kind enough to ask me to take part in the judging. So thanks very much, guys, and until we meet again, happy hobbying.
I was blown away by the quality of this competition. I was honestly heartbroken at the quality of warbands that I couldn't fit into this video. You could make a painting competition of the top 15 warbands that didn't make the video, and it would be incredible. It was incredibly humbling to see everyone's efforts. I was just so excited. So, thank you to everyone who entered, everyone who watched, everyone who rooted for a warband after seeing it posted on social media, something like that. Everyone who, hoped that someone else's would win. All of it is incredible. I just love this as a real flex by the community. It's everything I wanted to see. Honestly, when I first posted the video showing all of my war bands that I've ever painted, and kind of, putting myself out there a little bit, but also, hoping that people would respond and show me some amazing stuff from them. This is more than I could have imagined, and I'm so excited. So I'm going to be putting out more videos in the future. Obviously, as people know, I generally make more competitive content, but I just love getting to celebrate the hobby and getting to celebrate other aspects of Warcry other than the competitive side on this channel. I will continue trying to find ways to do that from time to time. I hope to do this painting competition again next year, and until then, may all your rolls be crits, because this has been incredible.